Zara stood up for her friend. Zara wasn't the loudest girl in class. In fact, most days, she barely said a word. While others shouted answers and waved their hands in the air, Zara stayed still, her pencil quietly dancing across her notebook, sketching tiny worlds no one else could see. She liked the back corner of the classroom near the window. That was her favorite spot. From there, she could see the leaves swaying on the school tree, the sky changing colors, and sometimes people's feelings, because even though Zara didn't say much, she noticed everything. She noticed when Mrs. Ali's smile looked a little tired. She noticed when a classmate sat quietly at lunch instead of laughing like usual. She noticed when someone was left out, even if everyone else pretended not to see. Some kids called Zara the quiet one. Others thought she was shy, and maybe she was. But deep inside, Zara was something not even she had discovered, yet a tiny spark of bravery, waiting for the right moment to shine. She didn't know it now, sitting quietly at her desk, humming a song only she could hear. But that spark would soon be tested, because something was about to happen. Something that would make her heart race. Something that would ask her to do the scariest thing she'd ever done. Speak up. Zara didn't talk to many people at school, but she had one friend who made her feel safe. Her name was Lami. Lami was the only person Zara talked to every day. They sat together at lunch, they walked together during break, and they always saved a seat for each other without asking. Lami was full of energy. She smiled a lot and told funny stories. Sometimes, she made up silly poems that didn't even rhyme. Zara would giggle and shake her head. But she loved it. Lami's laugh was loud and bright like sunshine. Even though they were different, they liked the same things. They both loved coloring with crayons and markers. They liked drawing castles, animals, and flying shoes. Sometimes they made stories to match their pictures. One time, Lami drew a giraffe that wanted to become a pilot. Zara added wings to its neck and made it fly across the paper. They laughed and gave the giraffe a name, Captain Necky. Zara felt free around Lami. She didn't need to be loud. She didn't need to explain herself. Lami just got her. Sometimes other kids asked, "Why don't you talk more, Zara?" Zara would look down, but Lami always smiled and said, "Zara talks when it matters." That made Zara feel special. She liked having one good friend instead of many. And to Zara, Lami wasn't just a friend. Lami was her best friend. They even had a secret handshake. Tap, tap, slide, clap, wink. It was their own little world. Quiet, happy, safe. But one day, something happened. Something that made Zara's quiet world feel shaky. It started small, just some unkind words from other kids, but it made Lami's smile disappear, and Zara didn't know what to do. Not yet. It was break time. The sun was bright and the children were playing outside. Zara sat under the big tree, drawing in her notebook. She looked up and saw Lami near the swings. 3 classmates were standing around her. They were laughing, but not in a kind way. One of them pointed at Lami's shoes. "Your shoes are funny," he said. Another one tilted her head and asked, "Why do you talk like that?" Lami didn't answer. She looked down at her shoes. Her shoulders dropped. She wasn't smiling. The children laughed again and walked away. Zara saw it all. Her heart started beating very fast. She felt hot and cold at the same time. She wanted to stand up. She wanted to shout, "Stop that! That's not nice!" But no words came out. She just sat there, still, quiet. Then she slowly closed her notebook. She got up and walked away. She didn't go to Lami. She didn't look back. Inside, she felt something heavy like a big stone sitting in her chest. She didn't know what to call it, but it didn't feel good at all. All day, she couldn't forget Lami's face. So quiet, so sad. Zara knew something unfair had happened, and she had done nothing. All day, Zara felt strange. Her tummy felt tight, like something was turning inside. She couldn't eat her lunch. She couldn't enjoy her drawing. When she looked across the room, she saw Lami sitting alone. Lami didn't smile. She didn't laugh. She just sat there, quiet, looking at her food. Zara looked away. She felt even worse. In class, no one talked about what happened. No one said anything at all. But Zara knew they all saw it. And inside her head, a little voice spoke. "Why didn't you say something?" Zara didn't have an answer. She had been too scared, too quiet. When she got home, she went straight to her room. She took out her notebook and her crayons. She didn't draw a happy picture. First, she drew Lami. Lami was sitting on a bench with her head down. No smile, no color in her drawing. Then, Zara drew herself. She was hiding behind the tree, not saying a word. She looked at the picture for a long time. She didn't feel proud. She felt sad. Zara wanted to go back in time. She wanted to stand beside Lami. She wanted to say, "That's not okay, stop it." But it was too late. Zara closed her notebook and lay on her bed. She stared at the ceiling. The little voice in her mind whispered again, "You can still do something." The next day, Zara came to school early. She sat at her desk, but she couldn't stop thinking about Lami. She looked at the door, waiting for her to walk in. Soon, Lami came in quietly. She sat in her seat and didn't look at anyone. Zara gave her a small smile, but Lami didn't see it. Later, during break time, Zara sat under the same tree. She saw Lami near the swing again. Then it happened again. One of the classmates pointed at Lami and said, "Why are you so slow?" The others laughed. Zara's heart started beating fast. Her hands felt cold. She felt the same fear from yesterday, but something was different today. She stood up. Her legs felt shaky. Her face felt warm, but she kept walking, one step at a time. She walked up to the group. Her voice came out soft at first, but then it got louder. "That's not kind. Stop it!" The other kids looked at her. They didn't laugh anymore. They didn't say anything. Then they turned and walked away. Zara stood still for a second. Her heart was racing. She felt scared, but also proud. Lami looked up. Her eyes were wide. She looked at Zara and smiled. It was a small smile, but it was real. Zara smiled back. They didn't say a word, but in that moment, everything felt better. Zara had found her voice, and Lami knew she wasn't alone. School was over for the day. The bell rang and children ran outside laughing and shouting. Zara walked out slowly, holding her backpack. She looked around for Lami. Then Lami came running toward her with a big smile. She didn't say much at first. She just wrapped her arms around Zara and gave her a big hug. Zara froze for a second. She wasn't used to hugs like that, but then she smiled too. Lami pulled back and looked at her. "Thank you," she said softly. Zara shrugged, a little shy. She didn't know what to say, but her smile said everything. They walked to the gate together, not talking much. Just walking side by side like always. Later that day, right before home time, something else happened. As Zara packed her things, her teacher, Mrs. Ali, came to her desk. "Zara," she said gently, "can I speak with you for a moment?" Zara stood up, nervous. Mrs. Ali smiled and said, "I saw what you did during break time." Zara looked down at her shoes. She felt shy again. Maybe she was in trouble? But the teacher continued, "That was very brave of you. Standing up for a friend is not always easy, but you did the right thing." Zara looked up slowly. She didn't say anything. She just nodded. Her cheeks felt warm. Her hands felt shaky. But inside a deep inside Dish felt different. She felt big. She felt strong. She felt proud. All the way home, Zara thought about what the teacher said. She had been scared, but she spoke up anyway. And maybe that's what bravery really is. That day, Zara learned something new. She learned that being quiet doesn't mean you can't be brave. You don't have to shout. You don't have to say many words. Sometimes, all it takes is one small sentence. One kind, true sentence. Like, "That's not kind. Stop it." That small sentence made a big difference. It stopped the teasing. It helped Lami feel better. It made Zara feel strong inside. Zara learned that small voices matter too. Even if you don't talk a lot, your words still count. You can still stand up for what is right. She didn't need to be the loudest in the class. She didn't need to be the most popular. She just needed to care. And she did. A lot. Now, things are a little different. Zara still doesn't talk very much. She still likes sitting in her quiet corner. She still draws in her notebook with her favorite crayons. But when she sees something that isn't right, when someone is being treated badly, Zara finds her voice again, even if she feels scared. Even if her voice shakes a little, she speaks up. Because now she knows that's what bravery is. Moral lesson. It's brave to speak up when something is unfair, even if your voice is small. Standing up for a friend can change everything. And follow for more brave, kind, and heartwarming stories. Talkside.eu. Subscribe for more children's stories that make little hearts feel big.